This episode is brought to you by Google. The Google Cybersecurity Certificate provides the necessary skills to begin a career in cybersecurity. Visit safety.google/cyberworkforce today.
ABC Friday.
It just takes one great idea to change your life.
Shark Tank returns for its 15th season.
I didn't know I was going to cry right now.
With new guest sharks, Jason Blum of Blumhouse, Michael Rubin of Fanatics, and Candace Nelson of Sprinkles Cupcakes.
I'm going to make you an offer.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
I've never seen anything like this on Shark Tank.
This season is a 15.
I totally believe in you.
Shark Tank premieres Friday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
This is Optimal Work Daily, episode 1090. Stop Trying to Be on Time, by Laura Stack of theproductivitypro.com. And I'm Dan. I am the host of the show. Thanks for joining me today. And this is where I read to you from some great blogs on work and entrepreneurship and lots of related topics. So let's get to it now and optimize your life. Stop Trying to Be on Time, by Laura Stack of theproductivitypro.com. Victor Borge, the Danish humorist and musician, was well into a performance when a woman came in late, fighting her way through the rows to her seat near the front. Borge stopped playing, and as she proceeded, trampling over people, rustling, and disturbing her way to her seat, he said, much to her chagrin, as all eyes focused on her ill-timed arrival, "Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me." After she sat down, he walked over near where she was sitting and said, "Where are you from, ma'am?" 57th Street, she said. "Well, lady, I'm from Denmark, and I was here on time." While Borge might have been trying to get a laugh from his audience, his obvious annoyance speaks to the principle of preparation in Mark Sanborn's newest book, The Encore Effect: How to Achieve Remarkable Performance in Anything You Do, which I'll discuss in this brief article. In the 16 years I've been speaking professionally on the concepts of personal productivity, one of the biggest complaints I hear from leaders who bring me in to speak to their employees on performance is something around the inability to meet deadlines, always being late, constantly running behind, or being forgetful, a performance that is hardly remarkable. People are much more irritated by lateness than you can know or they will admit. It can dampen everything from promotions and raises to friendships. Late people crowd you, physically and mentally. When people show up late, it undoes your schedule and disrupts your day. Showing up late or sending something in late, no matter how well done, still means a black mark against you. I consider myself blessed to be close friends with Mark and his wife, Darla. Since we only live a few miles apart, our families frequently enjoy spending time together. At a recent 4th of July barbecue at our home, Mark joked with me about the already cut-up plates of tomatoes, onions, pickles, and lettuce wrapped in plastic and waiting in the refrigerator. I joked back, "Why, I'm just following the principle of preparation from your book." Does a simple act of slicing burger fixings in advance make for a better barbecue? I think so. Being unprepared would have meant trying to cut everything up while the burgers got cold. I still would have been, quote-unquote, on time, but I'd be half listening to them and missing pieces of conversation while focusing on my task. This is the source of many people's lateness, I believe. They are trying to be on time. On page 17 of The Encore Effect, Mark defines average performance as, quote, "the best of the worst and the worst of the best," end quote. He says further, quote, "These performers are the best of the mediocre middle, neither hot nor cold, but lukewarm. The problem is that average performance doesn't get you noticed," end quote. Simply being on time doesn't get you noticed because it's fairly typical. It just doesn't stand out. It's okay. It's just expected. Yawn. Don't be simply average. So don't be on time. Be early. Mark's principle of preparation, planning in reverse, speaks to this concept. I had to chuckle at his story of the fisherman on page 61. It reminded me of cutting up tomatoes before the barbecue. Being prepared means you do things early, not on time. Early, done in advance, proactive, forward-looking, with a long-term focus. We're not talking ridiculously early here in a way that inconveniences your host when you arrive for a party. It's a way of thinking, a way of being, a way you frame your behavior. The process of finding and seizing the crucial 5% applies preparation to people in this way. 1. Late people are perpetually behind on everything. 2. On-time people arrive or finish a minute or two ahead or behind the goal. And 3. Early people are remarkable and are prepared for everything. Imagine how life would be if you were always so prepared that you arrived early everywhere for everything. You would get the first choice of many things, gain admiration and respect, are able to relax and not sweat, get good press and publicity, and have a bit of time to relax, read, or return a call. My point is that you can never really be on time, just barely on one side or the other, so you're never totally trusted, no matter how skilled you are. Being early makes you look remarkable and demonstrates to others you can be depended upon. Being late, however, makes people wonder if you'll be on time next time. Mark distinguishes between routine and remarkable on page 18. I couldn't agree more, and would frame it in this manner. Routine on-time people communicate through their actions. I might not make the next deadline. I'm barely in control. I'm not looking beyond the moment. Remarkable early people communicate through their actions. I don't need deadlines. I'm in complete control. I look ahead. We won't discuss late people since that belabors the obvious. In trying to be early, don't go out and simply set your watch 5 minutes fast to try to fool yourself, because psychologically you know it's 5 minutes fast and make up for it anyway. Keep your clocks on the correct time. Preparation is all about planning. Instead of thinking, I have to be there at 9 a.m., think, I will plan on arriving at 8:45. Then work backward. How long should it take you to get there? Add a buffer in case there's traffic. What time would that require you to drop off the kids at daycare? What time would you have to get them up in order to make that happen? What time do you have to get up to make that happen? And what will you do if you arrive even earlier than 8:45? Be prepared to pay bills, make calls, read a report, or write thank you notes. Before you close up shop for the day, ask yourself, what's coming up next week? What can I get out of the way now? Before you retire for the night, go over the next day. Know exactly where you need to be, what you need to have with you, and have everything laid out. Have clothes selected, school papers signed, lunches made, briefcase packed, and schedule outlined. As Mark says on page 58, quote, "The future we experience depends on the preparations we make today," end quote. By preparing in this way, you enable yourself to be early. Soon, you won't have deadlines, because they will be unnecessary. Deadlines eliminate all the job of accomplishment as you work for the deadline, not the completion of a project or task. Deadlines were made for people who would not get things done without one. You, on the other hand, are prepared, a remarkable performer, deserving of an encore performance. You just listened to the post titled "Stop Trying to Be on Time" by Laura Stack of theproductivitypro.com. We know many of you listening sell on eBay, so we wanted to let you know about their biggest seller event of the year. eBay Open 2023 is coming up at the end of September. Tune in Wednesday, September 27th through Friday the 29th for 3 days of virtual networking, learning, and announcements from eBay leadership. You can register now for free at ebay.com/open. Join thousands of sellers for insights, trends, and access to training sessions, seller-led sessions, category breakouts, inspiring keynotes, networking opportunities, and much more. Take your eBay game to the next level. eBay also has a few other surprises up their sleeves, including a virtual expo hall, free eBay swag giveaways each day, and many ways to celebrate being a small business owner on eBay. If you sell on eBay or have been thinking of selling on eBay, then you want to go right now and register at ebay.com/open. That's ebay.com/open. Thanks, eBay, for sponsoring the show. Labor strikes, climate change, your failing office printer. What do they all have in common? Come on, it's all about the money. Economics is everywhere and everything, fueling our lives. If you're a fan of OWD and are curious to learn something new and exciting about economics every week, check out the Planet Money podcast from NPR. Planet Money is a different kind of world where the complex economy actually makes sense. Credit scores may sound complex, but Planet Money can give you simple tips so that you can make better financial decisions. A famous baseball player isn't just good at baseball, he also shows us how to be a better investor. The topics are virtually endless, and you'll get answers to questions like, will AI take over our jobs? Or is fancy vodka just fancy marketing? The Planet Money team lives to tell a good story in around 30 minutes. Tune in to Planet Money every week for entertaining stories and insights about how money shapes our world. Listen now to Planet Money from NPR, wherever you get your podcasts. And a big thank you to Laura for sharing her work today. She is an award-winning keynote speaker and the best-selling author of 8 books. Her engaging personality, combined with over 25 years of experience helping organizations achieve results, have made her one of the most sought-after experts and keynote speakers in her field. Laura has been featured in the New York Times, USA Today, The Wall Street Journal, Entrepreneur, and Forbes magazine, and has been a spokesperson for Microsoft, Danone, 3M, Office Depot, Xerox, and more. And if that wasn't enough, her client list includes top Fortune 500 companies, including Starbucks, Wal-Mart, Bank of America, GM, Wells Fargo, and Time Warner, plus government agencies like the U.S. Air Force Academy, the Census Bureau, the U.S. Senate, and the IRS. So there is a ton you can learn from her, and you can do that simply by coming by theproductivitypro.com. She's got her videos, books, newsletter, store, and blog all right there. Again, that is theproductivitypro.com. Okay, that's going to do it for today. Hope you enjoyed the post from Laura, and thanks so much for subscribing or following, depending on your podcast app. And I will see you right back here tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.